Hey, you guys. So, I've been working on this dream all morning. There are some numbers and scriptures that I wanted to look up, but I wrote it down and I've seen some things in real life, so I'll try not to go through them all, but I'll just leave videos below. What I will do is take a screenshot of a video that Richie from Boston did today. I think he mirrored a video, or it may be simply a compilation video. It was relatively short, and the line outside the store was what I saw in the dream. So I'll use a screenshot of that and also leave his video below. It was talking about martial law, and martial law, of course, was in my dream, and how the people were outside the store just really caught my attention. It was very similar to what was in my dream. Okay. I had a dream that my uncle, he's not my blood uncle, but he is married to my aunt, and I felt like he was in the house, like quarantined. In real life, he does have now both legs amputated. So he was in the house and he was searching through the TV, and he was looking for a news station to kind of keep him occupied, I guess. And he went up to the channel. It was like I was there visiting him, and he went up to channel like 60, and I knew that he wouldn't find the news there because it was too high up in the channels. So I told him to go back down, and that the news channel will be like channel 24. I seen NBC in the dream, and I feel like he was looking for CBS. So when I seen NBC in the dream, I told him, go down to like 24. It should be like around that area. And in the dream, I knew that he had a different cable company than I did. But then it was like as he was supposed to have like a different cable company, but when I was looking at like the guide and stuff as he was flipping the channel, it looks like my cable company, like Xfinity or Comcast. And from what I've gathered over the day, it as far as that part of the dream, his reality is not my reality. Okay. His perception of the news is not really my perception of the news. Even though our cable company was supposed to be different, it actually was the same. Okay, so let me tell you what his name means. Before I go on to the next part of the dream, his name means it's Welsh for John, and John means God is gracious. Okay. When I saw that, it reminded me of how Myra was playing with my iPad earlier. That's why I'm not doing this video on my iPad. But she was like playing with the screen. I was like, "What are you doing? How do you get this changed?" That's why that's why it's not working. And Myra, one of her middle names is Janae. Okay. And I got that middle name for when I saw this, it's my grandfather and her father's middle name. Okay, so one of her middle names is John. What did I do? Also, 60 means mourning, time of mourning, lamenting. In the Hebrew and in the Greek, it means pertaining to the marketplace, an agitator, one who urges others to protest. Okay. Um, frequenting the marketplace, either transaction, sauntering idly, like just like, just flipping through this channels, like, I wouldn't say the word haphazardly, but, you know, not really mindful of what you're doing. Or going to the marketplace, just wandering, if you will. But that's what 60 means. And in the dream, he was up there higher than he was supposed to be. I was like, no, it's channel 24 around there is where you'll find like CBS. 24 means in the Greek indignation. That reminds me of wrath. And in the Hebrew, it means fresh, young ears. Also, the first month in the Jewish calendar, which is Nisan, which is also in April, which is the month of the Exodus. Okay. Also, the barley harvest is ripe and it comes ahead of the wheat harvest. Okay. I think the wheat harvest comes in May. Also, yeah, so the barley harvest precedes the wheat harvest. Also, the barley loaves, the 5 barley loaves of bread that Jesus multiplied. This says ordeal of jealousy. I don't know what that is, but I just thought that was interesting. One more thing. Cereals and the art of converting the barley were probably God's direct gift from man to man from the first. Apparently, I guess they use barley to make cereal. And I want to mention that because it's popping up in the next scene in the dream. Also, let's see. Where is it? And the next part of the dream, I was in I know I was like in the area of a warehouse. It seems as if I was in the back area. It almost seemed as if I was like at my old job. It's called Wild Wing Cafe. But I feel like I was like on the outside grounds of a warehouse or something. And there were a few people that were around me, and it seemed as if there was a guardman walking around. Okay, this seemed like some type of what you call it, martial law type scenario. He was walking in and all around checking out what we were doing, and Myra was in a high chair, and I was feeding her, and I knew that there was no more cereal. Okay, I just read that barley is converted into cereal, but there's no more cereal. And so I was eating like a turkey. It was supposed to be like a pancake, Jimmy Dean makes them like a pancake with the sausage in the middle. I think they make pork and they make turkey. It's like one of those little things, but it had sesame. The pancake actually had sesame on it, so it kind of looked like a bun. But I knew it in the dream to be like pancake, okay, with the sausage. So I took a bite and I chewed it up and I gave it to Myra because there was no cereal, like the dry cereal that you put milk on. And so the officer or military guy, before he came over, I saw that they had this bin of military uniforms. They were brand new military uniforms that they threw in a bin, and it seemed as if they were going to trash them. It seemed very wasteful. I'm thinking, why would you trash perfectly? It seemed as if they were freshly made. Why would you just take something freshly made and throw it in the trash? Okay, the uniforms, they're like jumpsuits or something. like a dumpster bin type thing. They were brand new, you guys. Just they're army fatigue uniform thingies. And so the guy walks over me. I noticed him in the area because it seemed like we were out in the back of a warehouse or something. And he walks over me and he asked me, why am I feeding her why am I feeding her like some of my sandwich? Why am I chewing it up? Why don't I get something to let her feed herself? It's as if he wanted her to eat by herself, because he had planned on killing me. And it was like he was going to he wanted the kids to be trained to eat by themselves. I felt like in the dream he had planned on like killing me and keeping my kids. Like the kids were kind of going to be enslaved or something. And so he told me to go get her something. So I got up. I said, you know what? I got a trick for him. I got up and I was walking towards a store, and it seemed to be like a large store, like a Walmart, okay? And there were people outside. He had somehow gone ahead of me and was outside and on the side of the building where other people were lined up. But he had already kind of like gotten there before me. And it seemed as if he had ordered me to come to the store to get the stuff for Myra for she can eat for herself, so she can learn how to pick up her own food and eat for herself and feed herself. But it's like he didn't want anybody else to know that he knew me or he had sent me there. So he was like standing there kind of like to make sure that I was going to go in the store and get the stuff for her. And as I was walking up to the side of the building, and there were other people outside of the building like waiting in line, and he was kind of like watching me walk up, I screamed out, to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. As to alert them, the people that were outside, the other customers that were probably waiting to go in the store, as to alert them that he was trying to kill me. But I was yelling it to him, like, to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. I said, even my church would handle my body. You can't kill me because my spirit leaves my body before you kill me. Like, I'm yelling this to him, you guys. And people were looking as if I had helped alert them to the real reason why he was standing there waiting for me, because he had plans to kill me. And even though I knew I was going out on a limb, and I felt like my kids have been just as bold as me. Like, I felt like I was a little concerned about my children a little, but I wanted him to know that he wasn't getting away with anything. And I felt like my kids were confident that if he intended to kill me, keep my children, they were just as bold as me. Okay? Runs in the blood. Myra is feisty. And my son ain't, he ain't no punk. He's sweet, but he ain't no punk. To be absent, it was in effect telling him that he may have had the power to kill my body. What does the scripture say? Don't be, and fear not them which kill the body, but aren't able to kill the soul, but rather fear him, God, which is able to destroy both body and soul in hell. Okay? I really feel like my uncle represented him. He was kind of like depressed, kind of watching the news. And his cable company was different than my cable company in the dream, but it was actually the same. But I felt like his reality was not my reality. And I feel like there is a indication that the wheat harvest is going to be next after the barley harvest. Well, the barley harvest is the entire month of April, basically, you guys. And I'm not setting a date. I'm just letting you know what those numbers meant and what I found. After the barley harvest, the wheat harvest is next. Also, indignation or wrath of God is poured out, the tribulation. I feel like there is this quarantine is a total setup for food shortages. That was clear to me in the dream. And control, them trying to control us, what we can buy and what we can't buy. Apparently, as of last night, there are turkey, what you call it, the not swine flu, avian flu found in turkey here in South Carolina in the poultry. Not sure if it's just turkey or just all poultry across the board. And also Smithfield. Remember, I've probably mentioned it a few times that China bought Smithfield, and apparently they are saying that there will be shortages. I feel like because they've had some type of contamination, but I don't believe that. Okay, I can't remember what the story was. I watched it last night. Both of them are on W's channel, on each of his channels. One is on one and one is on the other. I'll take the time to try to leave them below. And the picture that I'm going to use is a picture of people lined up, like I said, in one of Richie's videos. And I just feel like all this is a pre-set up for us to go home. They can't control us. And I'm not fearful. I'm really not fearful. I probably in real life, I would probably be more considerate of my children, not to do anything crazy. But I know I'm about to take no vaccines. That's where I draw the line. I'm not going to allow my kids to be vaccinated, you know. And I'm not going to be vaccinated if that's what's going to be required to go back to work and all kinds of stuff like they're trying to push. Okay? Our time is short. The barley harvest. And then the wheat harvest. I think that's it. If I think anything else, I'll leave it below. I did not want this video to be too long. I'm bold. I'm not telling anybody else to do what I do. But I'm just letting you know. They could try to kill people. I don't think we'll be here for all that. I think we're seeing a little bit of the, of course, we're under medical martial law right now. But as far as FEMA camps, I don't really think we have to worry about that. We are under FEMA direction. We are under FEMA. That was another thing I saw. Homeland Security the power has been given to FEMA. Okay, President Trump is no longer under control. Is there more to that? Maybe. But apparently, according to Homeland Security, the executive order, what we're seeing now is indicative of FEMA being in control. I'll leave that video or link below. There's a link. Okay? All right, you guys. Fear not. It's almost time to go home. It's almost time for the wheat harvest. And the wheats are being separated from the tares. We'll see. We'll see. Okay? God bless y'all.